This is a satellite image of the world at night. These types of images have been used for decades by scientists to better understand the world we live in, everything from analyzing weather patterns to predicting the severity of climate change. Now, a group of researchers at Brown University say that the data contained within these images may also shed light on the economies of developing countries.
Poor countries in particular have very weak statistical infrastructure. There's a very large informal economy that's not measured. And so the people who produce these numbers have been upfront about the fact that they're approximations.
David Weil, a professor of economics, and his colleagues say they can compute the growth of a country's gross domestic product, or GDP, by analyzing the change in light density in a country over a period of time. GDP numbers are important. They allow decision makers to better decide which policies are working and how better to grow their economies, decisions that ultimately affect the global economy.
And so in particular what we want to do is we want to look at the change in lights over the 10-year period for which we have data and use that to improve the estimates of the growth of gross domestic product over those same periods.
Weil gives an example of two developing countries they've tracked:
Myanmar and the Democratic Republic of Congo. So if you look at the official numbers from the World Bank World Development Indicators, over the period we examined, Myanmar grew at something like 8% per year. That's the officially reported number. When we look at the lights numbers, we don't see growth in lights that would be commensurate with GDP growing nearly as fast. And so when we form a composite estimate, using both our lights number and the available GDP number, the composite growth is much lower. In the case of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, you get the opposite. According to the official numbers, GDP actually fell significantly over this period. But when we look at the lights data, we see the lights getting brighter. So that suggests to us that there may be a problem with the GDP numbers.
Weil doesn't see the light density data as a replacement for the official numbers. He says by combining the numbers released by agencies like the World Bank with light density data, the resulting composite number is a much better reflection of how these economies are really performing. In the future, he hopes the approach will allow economists to gauge the performance of regions within countries, ultimately giving them a better understanding of economic growth in places where it's needed most. Ben Gruber, Reuters.